And we are back with another banger. So please smash that like button, you guys, and subscribe. And yeah, man, we're gonna talk this boxing today, man. Shakur Stevenson, okay, and after the aftermath of the Teofimo Lopez fight, a lot went down with that fight, man. A lot of eyes are opening now um for Shakur Stevenson, and a lot of people think he can get it done. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people think he can get it done. A lot of people think he can get it done on the big stage. We seen what he did to Teofimo Lopez on the big stage. And some people say that his style isn't real favorable, to superstardom and to that next level. But I just feel like if he can continue to have performances, smash that like button and subscribe, man. But if he can continue to have performances like he did, um, last weekend, man, the sky's the limit for Shakur Stevenson. I'm not even being a hater, man. I wasn't too big on Shakur early in his career, just because I seen the skill, but I just didn't see him trying to finish. I didn't see him trying to go that extra mile. You know what I'm saying? Even in the Teofimo Lopez fight, some say he could have knocked him down. Some say he could have hurt him. We still didn't see that, but I truly feel like we seen enough. We seen enough where it was one of those things where it was like, okay, you know, he def he definitely has that it factor to get it done. Will he get it done at that next level? We see that he can get it done, especially against opponent like Teofimo Lopez, which in some cases can be one dimensional. Let's just be honest. Teofimo Lopez can be one dimensional. Um, I think Teofimo Lopez is an awesome fighter at times. But he can be one dimensional. He didn't have any jab. A jab was, never there in my eyes. Or he didn't. He might have had it in the bag, but he didn't use it. And I feel like if he had it in the bag, he would have used it. So he didn't use it, and in my eyes, he didn't use it because he didn't have it to use. So, I feel like you can only go on. You can only use what's in your bag when you can. Um, Especially when it's beneficial for you. And I feel like it would have been very beneficial for Teofimo Lopez to use that jab. That jab lost him the fight, man. Him not having a jab lost him that damn fight, man. Straight up. I wanted to see him do a hell of a lot better, and I wanted to see him do well. He did. I can't even say he did well in spots because he didn't. Teofimo Lopez just literally stunk the joint up. I mean, he had no answer for the jab. He had no answer for the 1-2. He had no answer for Shakur Stevenson's foot movement. I mean, Shakur Stevenson's footwork, was way light years ahead of was light years ahead I feel like it was light years. It, it was just light years ahead, man. It was light, that defense, man. That Shakur Stevenson had. And he didn't even have to have good defense. He had really good offense. His Shakur Stevenson jab won him that fight, plain and simple. You can look at other things like the footwork because I seen that in that fight. I seen where Shakur Stevenson was he kept putting his lead foot stepping on Teofimo Lopez's lead foot, and he was even winning that battle. He was even winning that battle. He was winning that battle, man. He was winning that battle. You know, you got to be able to, when you're boxing Shakur Stevenson, some of the keys to victory is you got to have a strong jab. That's first and foremost. You got to have a strong jab. Got to have a strong jab, man. Got to have a strong jab. It's a must. You got to have a strong jab. I mean, that's a must. You know, if you're fighting Shakur Stevenson and you don't have a jab, you automatically, to me, to be honest with you, I don't see where you can win that fight. If you don't have a jab, if you feel like if you can't, fight Teofimo Lopez and actually win the jab war, I feel like you already cut your chances in half by not having a jab. Because you got to keep Shakur Stevenson guessing. You got to keep him guessing. And I feel like, we seen at times that Teofimo Lopez did have footwork, but he had footwork with the right guys in front of him. Left hook, what's happening, man? Corey, a real one, salute. What's going on, man? What's up, left hook, deadly? What's going on, man? Smash that like button, man. Let's definitely get these likes up, man. We late night streaming, man, for sure. I'm not sure what time it is where you guys are at, but where I'm at, man, it's 3:43 a.m., man. Vampire hours, and that works for me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people are going to probably catch the rerun of this legendary stream, but it's all good, man. You know what I'm saying? Catch it when you can, man. Catch it when you can, man. But yeah, man, to be able to beat Teofimo Lopez, I cannot stress this enough, man. Not only do you have to have the jab, you have to have foot movement. And you have to have really good footwork. You know what I'm saying? You can't just stay there in a stationary target and just get jab, 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 jab the whole night away. By the end of the fight, Teofimo Lopez, the one side of his face looked like he had been in Iraq, man. I mean, he just looked like he had got punished on just one side of his face, and that strictly came from the jab. That strictly came from the jab. Left hook in the chest says, not just in this boxing shit, but real life shit. I remember you pulling up on cats who talk shit, LOL. Yeah, you already know, man. You already know, man. A lot of motherfuckers will say shit over the web, but when you see them in person, man, they don't speak half of that shit you talk about, man. I'm not saying I'm the best boxer in the world, but I do have some. I do have something in the bag. I do have something in the bag. You can't be out here talking crazy. But see, and the crazy thing about it is, I don't even talk crazy. I try to talk facts when I talk boxing, man. And try to call a spade, and I try to call it straight down the middle, man, for the most part. Yeah, I got certain fighters that I like more than others, like Usyk and Inoue and Better Beef and fighters like that. And Crawford, I like Crawford. Crawford came around, man. I always liked Crawford, but I just feel like he wasn't getting the fucking fights we wanted to see. We've been wanting to see him fight Earl Spence, and he just never, in my eyes, he never got that. He got the Earl Spence fight later in his career, should I say. But that fight built up. And if it weren't for Earl Spence, shout out to Earl Spence. Earl Spence is a real one. If it weren't for Earl Spence, we would have never seen that fight. We would have never seen that Earl Spence versus Terrence Crawford fight if it weren't for Earl Spence, straight up. Because Earl Spence took a leap of faith. But he really thought he could beat Crawford. He really thought he could beat Crawford. You know? And when you really think you can beat Crawford and you step in that lion's den and you come to find out your tools ain't that deep and your bag ain't that deep as you thought it was, reality sets in. And that's when you start getting cooked on live television. And a lot of people want to blame that Crawford ass whooping on Earl Spence for the car accidents and stuff like that. Even Earl Spence said it himself. If you're a young fighter out here, don't drink alcohol. Period. Facts. UGC in the chat. What's goody? What's goody? We back with another banger, baby. I'm back, man. Shit, man. It's been a little while, man. I took some time. I had to get my shit together, man. I had to get on my shit, man. I had my shit together. I just had to get it together even more. I had to tighten my circle up, get some shit in my personal life together, man. And this YouTube shit I feel like gonna be here, man. And if you a real fan, you ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? That's how I play it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, we talking this boxing shit, man. You already know, man. He says, UGC says, cooked on live TV promotions. Facts. Facts, man. Left Hook Deli says, I was just about to say, it's been a minute. Good to see you back, my G. You already know, man. I had to come back, man, because to be honest with you, I see a lot of these live streams and a lot of this bullshit, and I fall asleep on this shit, man. I actively fall asleep on some of this shit that I see out here. I'm like, damn, yo. This shit ain't even what I thought it was. You know? But I digress. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. You know, everybody that talk that boxing don't really know that boxing. You know what I'm saying? They talk that boxing shit, but do they know that boxing shit? That's the question. That's the question. That's the $1 million question. You talk a lot of shit, but do you know that shit? My resume speaks for itself, man. Use it and still, anyway, and still. Better be close decision. Could be still. I don't think Bivall's rushing for that rematch, though. Keeping it honest with you. He already talking about moving up the motherfucking cruiserweight. Knowing he got a rematch clause. Knowing he got a motherfucking rematch clause. But yeah, man, you know, Shakur Stevenson, man, he's a hell of a fighter. He showed that he's got a hell of a jab. And I seen Tank Davis, you know, chime in. Tank Davis. And still, a lot of motherfuckers say what they say about Tank Davis, but I still think that that would be a good fight. Because we still ain't really seen Shakur Stevenson get rocked like that. I want to see if Shakur Stevenson can take a punch. I know some people might say that's fucked up. And, you know, damn, Corey, why you want to see him take a punch? I really want to just see if he can really get in the trenches and take a punch. I mean, if you don't have to, definitely don't take one. But can you? Can you? You know what I'm saying? Can you? Shit. You know? We haven't seen Shakur Stevenson really fighting, you know, he always fighting off the back foot. Will we ever see Shakur Stevenson come forward the whole fight? I doubt it. The whole fight, I doubt it. You know what I mean? The whole fight, I doubt it. You know? But, you know, like I said, man, Shakur Stevenson's a hell of a fighter. I'm not taking anything away from him. I think the sky's the limit. He's only 28 years old. I would love to see Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis. I would love to see Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson. That's another fight I would love to see. I would even love to see Keyshawn Davis versus motherfucking Shakur Stevenson. Dare I say. I know y'all are brothers, but like Richardson Hitchinson said, man, if they offer me 20, 40, 20, 30, 40 million to fight my brother, we got to put that shit aside, man, and fight. I feel him on that. Get in the fucking ring, man. Get in the fucking ring and fight, man. That's what you get paid for. I hope Turkey, man, get some of these motherfuckers that saying they ain't gonna fight each other, man, or they ain't, or or they ain't calling motherfuckers out like, some say that, not to jump, but since we on it, the whole, quote unquote ducking, narrative right now. A lot of people say that, Jerron Boots Ennis, that he don't want to fight, Virgil Ortiz. He don't want to fight, what is it? Bachram, or whatever, the guy that just fought Josh Kelly, and Josh Kelly won, surprisingly. I won a little bit of bread on that fight too, man. I had a live bet. I switched my bet. I had the other guy winning, Bachram, and then I switched it, and I went ahead and took Josh Kelly. I seen his footwork, but it was getting dicey at the end. UGC in the chat says, oh, hold on. Left Hook in the chat says, you're one of the realest non-biased motherfuckers on the YouTube. Fact, thank you, man. I mean, listen, man, I just try to call a spade, man. And a lot of these channels, it be a lot of D-riding, man, for sure. You know what I mean? I don't know if they getting the bag behind the scenes or if they getting broke off, you know what I'm saying, with some type of bag or some type of promotion or some type of revenue deal. But I see a lot of riding for sure. But we all know that, you know what I'm saying? We all know that when certain channels get to a certain level, they stop talking about certain things and they start acting a certain way. Facts. Did you just hear how I broke that down to y'all, man? Come on, man. God damn, that's off the top, man. So UGC in the chat says, oh no, Left Hook in the chat says, I mean, Shakur was in front of Tio. Smash that like button too, y'all. Let's get these likes up, man. I need to get these likes up, man. I need motherfuckers to know I'm live at 4 in the morning. I need motherfuckers to know I'm live at 4 in the morning, man. What's happening? Left Hook in the chat says, I mean, Shakur was in front of Tio the whole fight, though, brother. Yeah, he was in front of him, but he had his distance. He knows how to gauge his distance very well. Numerous boxers have said that about Shakur Stevenson. He knows how to gauge his ring generalship. He has very good ring generalship, Shakur Stevenson does. And he just knows how to, he's a very, very defensively responsible fighter. Facts. And I'm not taking anything away from, Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? Shakur Stevenson is a hell of a fighter, but everybody's not signing up to fight him. Not only that, everybody's not, in a rush to not only everybody's not in a rush to fight him, I feel like right now, Shakur Stevenson, everybody's not in a rush to watch him. If that makes sense. I feel like there's other fighters out there, but see, styles make fights. So if you put a guy in there that some people say Conor Ben will make him fight, I don't think so. I think similar shit is going to happen with Conor Ben, just like in the Teofimo Lopez fight. I feel like if Conor Ben and if Conor Ben and Shakur Stevenson were to fight tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, Same result. I'm not saying it'll be a 10-2, but I ain't gonna say it's gonna be any more than a 6-4, 7-3, 8-2. I mean, depending on, it's gonna probably be a 12 rounder, so 8-4 at best. I got Conor Ben winning 4 rounds at best. At best. Smash that like button and subscribe. Let's definitely get these likes up. 4 a.m. live stream, man. We cooking. We cooking. Stove's on, we cooking. Stove is on and we're cooking. 4 a.m. Smash that like button. Left hook in the chat. Oh, UGC says Haney versus Shakur. Who you favor to win? In that fight, I'm gonna be honest, man. Shakur versus Devin Haney. I think that Devin Haney will it's gonna be a jab war. It's gonna be it's gonna be the battle of the jab. Smash that like button as soon as you guys come in, y'all. Let's definitely get these likes up. It's gonna be a jab fest all night long, man. It's gonna be a jab fest all night long. It's gonna be one of them fights where they're gonna both try to gain their respect, but at distance. It's gonna be more of a distance type of fight. It's gonna be more of a, I might double jab you. Now here go the triple jab and the 1-2. You know what I'm saying? Then I back up again. You know what I mean? Or Devin Haney might go in there with the 1-2 and connect slightly, okay? But then you got Shakur right there ready to counter. It's gonna be a chess match for sure. High level. Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson is a high level chess match for sure. Now see, if you just go ahead and throw Tank in there, that's gonna be like can he not get hit for 12 rounds against Gervonta Davis? And my honest answer is no. I think Gervonta Tank Davis could possibly catch him at some point in that fight. Now, can he? That's the $1 million question, you guys. And I can't stress this enough. This is the $1 million question right now, you guys. At 4 in the morning, it's the $1 million question. Can Shakur Stevenson take a fucking punch? Straight up. Can he take a punch? Because at the end of the day, you gotta be able to take a punch, especially in the big fights, especially at the top level. I'm not taking nothing away from Teofimo Lopez. But was he really an A-class fighter? In my honest opinion, no. He had no jab. A-class fighters and A-level fighters have jabs. They teach you that when you first start boxing. Jab. And that's another motherfucking thing since we on that subject, man. I'm cooking. I told you the oven is on. 400, man. It's 400 to 500 degrees in this motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? At 4 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So Teofimo Lopez has gotta switch trainers, man. The trainer he got right now is trash. I've interviewed his dad, and I got nothing but the utmost respect for Teofimo Lopez and his dad, even though they be on some wild shit sometimes. I've interviewed Teo and his dad here at Corey Lee Boxing's channel. Check my resume. Go check the facts. I've interviewed them. I looked at them dead in their face, and I've asked questions. But when you're in the corner of your son's biggest fight, and all you can say is, hit that motherfucker. Hit that motherfucker. Excuse my language. Put the kids up. It's 4 in the morning. If you're on the East Coast, they might not have school tomorrow. Put them to bed. You know what I'm saying? But Teofimo Lopez has got to get a better trainer, man. He's got to get a better trainer. He's not going to get any better if he doesn't get a better trainer. Teofimo Lopez is not getting any better any faster, man. He's 28 years of age, you know. He's 28 years of age. So shit can still, work out for him. He's 28 years of age. Shit can still work out for him. But at this point in his career, man, Teofimo Lopez has got to get a trainer, man. His dad was saying some bullshit that night, man. You're going to hate yourself tomorrow, man, for this. Like, what are you... You're telling him that in the fourth and fifth round. Like, you can't tell him to throw the jab. You can't tell him to, work off the back foot. Let Shakur come to you. Like, you can't tell him anything remotely close to a game plan? Dare I say? Let me check this motherfucking chat, man. Yeah, man. Hey, UGC, put the fucking kids to bed, man. You know what I'm saying? Put the kids to bed. They need to be put to bed, man. Let me see what we got here, man. UGC in the chat says, yeah, left hook. Shakur was walking T.O. down. Left hook in the chat says, UGC, yep. Left hook says, okay, I see what you're saying now. Oh, my bad. Left hook says, you want to see if Shakur can slug it out toe-to-toe? LOL. I mean, he ain't got to slug it out toe-to-toe, but at the end of the day, can we see some type of fight? And I mean, at the end of the day, the fighter in front of him's got to bring that out of him. I think Conor Ben can bring some of it out of him. I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. I think Conor Ben can bring some of that shit out of him that we want to see if he can brawl. But I mean, at the end of the day, skills pay the bills. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. I like what I seen out of Keyshawn Davis, man. I think Keyshawn Davis, man, has got a lot of tools in his bag, man. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. I wouldn't mind seeing, Devin Haney versus Keyshawn Davis. Devin Haney versus Keyshawn Davis is a fight. I'm going to let you know that right now. Devin Haney, I would favor Shakur a little bit more in the Devin Haney fight. But I'm going to tell you guys right motherfucking now, man. Devin Haney versus Keyshawn Davis. Devin Haney could get put to sleep. Devin Haney could get put to sleep. Because in those exchanges, okay, when Keyshawn Davis is going to risk it all in some of those exchanges, that. And I fuck with him because of that. You know what I'm saying? I really respect that. You know what I mean? That you undefeated, you got the world on your fingertips, and you just ready to risk it all to knock this motherfucker out cold. Ice season. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. I really respect that. That you willing to risk it all, man. And I believe him when he says it, man. I believe him when he says it because that's what he showed us. He showed us that he's willing to risk it all. In some of those exchanges, man, against Jermaine, man, Jermaine wasn't too far off at all from connecting on some of those punches. Yes, it was a dominant performance for Keyshawn, but if you put another fighter in there, like a guy like, Devin Haney, which we seen in the Brian Norman Jr. fight, where he's got popped at 147, we already heard Keyshawn Davis call out Devin Haney. Not only that, Keyshawn Davis said he's moving to 147. I got Keyshawn Davis right now beating Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia. Right now. Right now. Both of them. Cooked. You think Rolly did you dirty, Ryan? You get in the ring with Keyshawn, I think he gonna do you super dirty. You getting out of there. Kitchen too hot, baby. Scorching. You about to get cooked. So that's why I said right now, man, for Keyshawn moving up to 147 pounds, man, I think the sky's the limit, man. I think the sky is the limit, man. Left Hook says the egg sucker can bring it out of him. Laugh out loud. You probably right, but I don't see it. Keyshawn blast Ryan the fuck out of here. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you right now, yo. If Ryan Garcia were to win this belt against Mario Barrios, he'll be the WBC champion at 147 pounds. And you know a lot of fighters want that WBC gold belt. A lot of fighters want that WBC gold belt at 147 because that's the belt that Floyd Mayweather's held for years. That WBC belt. That's the same belt Earl Spence has held. And Keith Thurman. Same belt. Manny Pac, no. I'm not 100% sure if Manny Pacquiao held that WBC 147 pound belt. I'm pretty sure somewhere in his long range of fights he's held it. I know that he was with Top Rank for a while, so I know he held that WBO belt at 147 pounds. But it's a legendary belt. It's a legendary weight class, 147. So I want to see, man. You know, Devin Haney's at 147. You know, you got Mario Barrios versus Ryan Garcia about to fight at 147. You got Keyshawn Davis moving up to 147 pounds. You know, I think you still got Stanley Jonas at 147. Let me see who's at 147 right now, you guys, since we on that 147 topic right now. Let me see who the top guys at 147 are. Let's see what we got here. It's nothing but a click away. Smash that like button and subscribe, you guys. UGC in the chat says Crawford held the WBC 2, just vacated after he became undisputed. Facts. I think that's a hell of... man, I'm telling you right now, man, 147 is heating up. 147 pounds right now is heating up. For sure. You know, you got a lot of fighters that coming from 140. Shit, even the guy that fought Josh Kelly, Bachram or whatever, he was saying that he could still make 147. He's at 154. He's saying he would go down to 147 if he could get a fight. If he can get a fight. And fun fact, you guys, in that Mario Barrios versus Mario Barrios versus Ryan Garcia, you guys do know that Mario Barrios has Ryan Garcia's old head coach. You guys know that, right? Okay. He's got his old trainer. The trainer that he had, Ryan Garcia had this trainer when he fought Gervonta Tank Davis. Can't remember his name right off the top. But I heard him doing an interview the other day. And hold on. I'm gonna let you guys know his name right now. And then I'm gonna go down the 147 pound. Joe Goosen. Legendary trainer, Hall of Fame trainer, Joe Goosen. Damn, they got Mario Barrios 24th in the world in the welterweight division. But he holds a WBC belt. I think Ryan Garcia and Oscar De La Hoya thinks Mario Barrios is dog food for Ryan Garcia, but not too fast, man. He put on a clinic against you guys. He beat Manny Pacquiao, even though he was an old Manny Pacquiao, but still, man. But still, they got all right. This the top. Damn, they got Mario Barrios 24 on BoxRec. He's a WBC champion. They got Rolly ahead of him. They got Harlem Eubank ahead of Mario Barrios. Oh my goodness. Dog food. That's what I'm saying. Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy and fucking and fucking and Ryan Garcia, man, they think Mario Barrios is dog food. But not too fast. Not too fast. I'm telling you, man, I think Mario Barrios is gonna put up a lot better fight than a lot of people think. Mark my words. Mark my words. Because if Ryan Garcia doesn't get the knockout, can he win on the scorecards? I think Mario Barrios has a lot of movement. He has a lot of punch output as well. Mario Barrios is an all-around good fighter. Not great fighter, but good fighter. But he has tools in his bag, and from what Joe Goosen is saying, he's gonna be well conditioned. They say they do 3-hour workouts on the minimum. Multiple sparring partners, and they said that's just the start. They still, after they spar, I believe he said in the interview, in the last 3 to 4 days, I watched his interview, and I believe he's saying Mario Barrios in camp is, he's fighting guys that he's sparring with, and they're going multiple rounds, and Mario Barrios still has to do his workout after that. So, shout out to Left Hook in the chat. He says Oscar's on that nose candy. You already know. You already know. Left Hook Deli in the chat says, and that shit about to catch me, y'all. It is 4:13. I'm gonna keep it going though. Left Hook says, do you think Thurman doesn't get hurt before fight night against Fundora? I lost hope, my nigga. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, man. That fight, Keith Thurman versus Sebastian Fundora, it's a hell of a fight, but will we ever make it to the finish line? Damn. They got me thinking we not even going to make it to the finish line, yo. Somebody might get hurt. I hate to say it, but that's not out of the realm of possibilities. Somebody getting hurt for that fight. Smash that like button and subscribe, you guys. That's not out of the realm of possibilities, man. UGC in the chat says Barrios' key to victory versus Ryan is the jab. Plus, Joe Goosen know all of Ryan Garcia's weakness. That's what I'm saying. That's his old coach. That's why I was putting that out there, man. That's wild as a bitch. You could pick any trainer in the world, but yet you pick Joe Goosen. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that Joe Goosen and Mario Barrios, because what Joe Goosen said is in the interview, he said that Mario Barrios' team contacted him. He didn't go out fishing. They contacted him. So with that being said, hey, listen, man. You know, maybe he's trying to figure out what's Ryan Garcia's weaknesses. We all know that the body attack is one of Ryan Garcia's weaknesses. And Ryan Garcia, believe it or not, has got a suspect chin. Dropped by Rolly. Dropped by Tank. Shit, dropped by Campbell. Did y'all forget that? Campbell dropped him. So if you think 135-pound Campbell dropped him, and if you think that a big, from what Joe Goosen is saying, Mario Barrios is a big 147. So listen, man, for all the motherfuckers out there that's saying that Ryan Garcia's gonna have an easy night against Mario Barrios, I think you're wrong, man. I think you're wrong, bro. I think you're wrong, man. And I think it's gonna be a lot closer fight than a lot of people think, man. You know, it's gonna be a lot closer fight than what people think. People think that it's gonna be a gimme fight, man, for Ryan Garcia, but it's not. It's not. You know, Mario Barrios worked his ass off to get where he's at now. Took many losses. You know, he's got 2 losses on record, and I believe 2 draws on record. But in that Tank fight, he took an ass whooping. There ain't no way about it. And that Manny Pacquiao fight was grueling. You know? But I want to see what Ryan Garcia is going to do. Can he win his first world title? And if he can win that WBC world title at 147 pounds, the sky's the limit with Ryan Garcia. I think this could be his coming out party. If he can win this belt, if he can beat a guy like, you know, like Mario Barrios. But will it be easy? I don't think so. I keep thinking of how their styles can clash. Cause like UGC said in the chat, you know, he's gotta they both gotta, you know, you know, put their foot down and use that jab and dictate the pace. You know, this fight is gonna be about who can, you know, who can insert itself the most. You know, who can, you know, win those close rounds and eke it out at the end, you know, when your gas tank is running low, you know, and the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th championship rounds. I'm talking about championship rounds. Real championship rounds. You know, does Ryan Garcia have championship rounds in him? And against Rolly, he tucked his tail and was like, he's not knocking me out on national television, and I'm willing to lose this decision. But we all know Ryan Garcia didn't even come close to winning that Rolly fight, and Rolly didn't even look that good either. Yeah, he got a knockdown or two against Ryan Garcia, but I feel like he never went in for the kill. You had a wounded animal in Ryan Garcia. And when you're Rolly Romero, you didn't finish him. Like you know, some would believe. You didn't finish him. You know. But like I said, man, it's gonna be a hell of a fight. 147 pounds has waken up. And it's right now, I truly feel like, you know, 147 pounds is warming up, is heating up. So definitely be on lookout for that. Definitely be on lookout for who Shakur's fighting next. And even Teofimo Lopez. How does he bounce back after this loss? Does he fight George Kambosos? I heard that, you know, there's some rumblings. He wants that, you know, he wants to right that loss. That's his only other loss. He wants to right that wrong right. More power to him. But if you come in there like you did against Shakur Stevenson, knowing Camboso's got a pretty good jab, it's going to be a long night for you again. A jab can beat Teofimo Lopez. Just the jab alone. It's fucked up to say because he's a multi-division world champion, but skills pay the bills, man. Skills do pay the bills. And if you ain't got skill tools in your bag that you can go into when the fighting gets thick and when it gets tough, you gotta be able to rely on more than just swinging, swinging and banging. You gotta be out there and have a game plan. Teofimo Lopez, in my eyes, is done unless he can get a new trainer. You come in there with that bullshit with your dad. A lot of these fights, if you notice, Teofimo Lopez has been winning these fights alone, man. Cause your dad is giving you zero advice. And no game plan. What did y'all work on in training camp? If you stunk the joint up that bad, what was your training camp like? Did you have any pure boxers in there? I would have bought in I would have probably bought in Rigondeaux. I would have bought in, smaller fighters, but quick fighters. Because Shakur's quick. But hey, man. That's just what I think, man. I'm going to go ahead and hit the hay, y'all. It's almost 5 in the morning. I had to do this live stream. I hope you guys liked it, man. But I don't want to fall asleep on a live stream, man. Or start falling asleep during the live stream. I'm tired as a motherfucker. Dang, it's been a long day. But yeah, man, I'll be back tomorrow, you guys. Once I get some rest. I'll either be back tomorrow or Friday, and I'm going to give a breakdown of this Nick Ball versus Brandon Figueroa fight. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be a banger. I got Brandon Figueroa doing well, but I think eventually Nick Ball could possibly stop him. The more I think about it and the more I see those wars on Brandon Figueroa, they're adding up, dude. You can't be in war after war after war after war after war and expect your body to just respond every fucking time. Eventually, those shots are gonna fucking pay dividends to your body and show. We look at Matisse, man. Look at Sabril Matisse. All of those punishing rounds added up, man. And God knows how hard he goes in sparring. The guys, what do you do? A guy like Sabril Matisse, what in the hell do you do in sparring? But try to beat your fucking opponents up? Because I feel like that's all he does in a fight. He tries to walk you down and beat you the fuck up till you can't stand no more. I lost some fucking money on that Matisse fight. I ain't gonna sit here and hold y'all like everything peaches and cream. I lost some motherfucking money on that fight. Yes, I did. I thought Dalton Smith was gonna lose that motherfucking fight. He proved me and everybody else wrong. Whoever else, if you had Dalton Smith winning that shit, show me the motherfucking receipt. Obviously, you had him winning after the fight, but before the fight, if y'all picked Dalton Smith to win that fight, show me the receipt. Hit me up on IG at Quarterly Boxing or something and send me that, and I'll give you nothing but respect, nothing but props. But a lot of motherfuckers picked Dalton Smith to get knocked out. I know I did. Late stoppage. And it was looking like he could, Lucas Matisse, I was about to say Lucas Matisse. Sabril Matisse was going to get him out of there. It was going to get him out of there. But Dalton Smith had that other gear. So yeah, man. Shout out to UGC. He says, yeah, Brandon dog food. I'm telling you, man. These wars add up to these fighters, man. Left hook in the chat says, I hate to say it. He's done though. I'm telling you, man, all those wars that you take, man, you can always take but so many wars until your body's like, fuck no. I'm not doing this anymore. Jabril Matisse's body failed him. But at some point, you got to use your brain in there. You can't just go in war after war after war after war after war and expect for you to win. Shout out to and pays my respect to Dedashev. I was there at that fight live. I was covering. I had my press credentials for ESPN on the Dedashev versus Matisse fight at the MGM Grand in Maryland at the MGM Casino, and I was at that fight, press row. I watched that fight live. That was a back and forth battle. That was a back and forth battle. Both guys took tremendous damage. But that's what happened when you get a 13-0 guy with 12 knockouts versus a 13-0 guy with, I believe, 11 knockouts. Both guys going into that fight, Dedashev and Matisse, had over a 90% KO ratio. What in the fuck you think is going to happen? And you know the style Matisse has. Somebody's not making it to the 12th. And rest in peace to Dedashev. He did not make it. Grueling, tough fight, man. But yeah, man. Matisse at the time had a 100% KO ratio. See what I'm saying? Well, I was just using over 90% because I know for sure facts is they were both for sure over 90%. I wasn't for sure if it was 100% or not, but thanks for that, man. But like I said, what did you think was gonna happen? It's a tough fight, man. It's a tough ass too, man. You know. But shout out to Dalton Smith, man. A star was born that night, and he won. He won. And man, that motherfucking promotion for that Dalton Smith versus Matisse fight was terrible. And that was one of the worst promoted fights I know for a fact that was the worst promoted show I seen in 2025. I believe it was in 2025. I believe that fight took place in 2025. But it was the worst, man. They had zero promotion. The undercard was some shit, which they had good fights on though. Still was some good fights. But still, it was some shit. And they wanted us to pay for that shit. It was on pay-per-view. That shit was like I think it was like 54 or 60. Man, I'm not paying for that shit. I'm streaming the hell out of that fight. The hell with y'all. paying no 50, 55, $60 for that shit. I watched it though. And I watched Matisse do good in the first couple rounds. And I seen him slide, man. Once he knew that he was in a fight, his body just couldn't take it no more. His mind, he still wanted to fight. You see how he got up and shit, man, but he won't right. You know? And I hope Matisse takes at least 6 to 8 months off, minimum. He took a lot of punishment in that fight. And shout out to my dog Jared Hurd. Jared Hurd fought the same exact way. Come forward, just trying to punish you, round after round after round after round, until you wilt or until he wins it on the scorecards. Jared Hurd has got this damn near the same exact style as Sabrel Matisse. And I was telling my homeboy the other day, that style can only last for so long until it can't last anymore. Until your body just disobeys the shit out of you. That's why I think that Shakur Stevenson can have, many, many more good years left in his tank. He's took very little punishment at all, at all. And I mean, he's been putting on, show after show. And that last performance, man, he really, really showed why he's at the top and why he is the top guy at 140 in my eyes. Yeah, Keyshawn fought at 140, but I feel like he's moving up. And from what I heard, Shakur Stevenson was just stripped of his WBC lightweight title, the 135-pound title. How you gonna strip the man and he just won and dare to be great and going in a whole nother weight class and won? And you know what the WBC says for that, for winning? You know what the WBC says for that? You know what the WBC says for that, you guys? After Shakur Stevenson put on a hell of a dominant performance, one of his better performances of his career. You know what the WBC says to that? Fuck you. We're taking your belt. Because you didn't fight at 135 pounds. Because you guys know he was the WBC champion at 135 pounds too. Don't forget that now, y'all. He was a champion at 135 pounds. So the WBC said, fuck you, we're taking the belt. Straight up. We got some guys in line to fight for it already. I think some of it had to do with the way Crawford talked to the WBC. But Crawford had valid points. What the fuck are y'all doing with the fucking money? What are y'all doing? What is the WBC doing with all of that fucking money that they make off of those titles? But hey, I digress, man. I'm about to go to sleep, you guys. Let me read these last couple chats and I'm out of here. Not to mention Matisse popped before the fight. Yeah. Left Hook says, although I think Dalton probably still would have won, but the magnitude of that fight did not deserve that kind of stoppage. Hey, he was getting punished though. Left hook in the chat says, Matisse was cleared of all that contamination and supplements. UGC said, hey, I heard he was. But still, man. I don't know. What the fuck? That shit. Hopefully he wasn't cheating, but I wouldn't put it out the realm of possibility. The WBC clears everybody, but what do I know? Left Hook says, I'll be honest, I really don't believe Matisse would cheat. Okay. You think so, huh? Mauricio, the worst, did the same thing to Crawford. Yup, he sure did. Left Hook says, don't Albert Pulo popped dirty with the same strap or no? I'm not sure about that. But yeah, man, look, it's been an hour I've been on here, man. Peace out, you guys. I'm out of here. I'm about to hit the hay. Thank you guys so much for watching, man. I'll check you guys on the next live stream, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and comment on this video. And let's get these likes up, man. Peace out, man. I got love for all you guys, man. You guys have a productive day tomorrow. Peace out, man. Check you guys on the next one, man.